Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Tabletop Simulator, and today's clash is Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, like all the Tiny Epic series, developed by Scott Olms and published by Gamelin Games. Tiny Epic Dinosaurs is a ranging game in which 1 to 4 players compete to build the best possible dinosaur range by completing contracts, doing research, and generally making their lives as interesting as possible. I guess making the dinosaurs' lives interesting. For whatever that's worth. Today we're playing this game solo. And I will talk about this at the end of the video. There are some issues I have with the solo game. But it's a brilliant game, regardless of player count. But I do have some issues with the solo game that I'll talk about at the end. So what are you looking at today? Well, let's begin by looking at the orange player's player board and their range. So, the player board is quite simple. This is going to track our resources. There are 3 resources in this game: supplies, meat, and plants. Meat and plants primarily used to feed your dinosaurs, whereas supplies have a variety of uses that we'll see throughout the game. We have our 4 workers, including the head rancher, the lead rancher, the heckin' Chonkosaurus, as I like to call him. We have the holding area. This is where dinosaurs and barriers, once you purchase them, live until you rearrange your range later on. And we have the 4 basic dinosaurs, as well as how many points are worth at the end of the game. We have the Stegosaurus, the Velociraptor, the Brachiosaurus, and the Allosaurus. Stegos and raptors eat 1 plant and 1 meat respectively. Brachiosaurus and Allosaurus eat 2 plants and 2 meat respectively. Pretty straightforward. The last thing it reminds you of is the penalty for what happens if a dinosaur escapes. Dinosaurs escape for a variety of reasons. They can escape if they don't have an enclosure. They can escape if you don't feed them. I guess there are just the 2 ways. And then crazy shit happens, and hopefully it'll never happen, so I won't talk about it. But it might. To the right of this, you see my dinosaur range, and you may be saying, Avi, where are the dinosaurs? We'll get there. We're just not there yet. What makes this interesting is not only is this where we put our dinosaurs, it is also where we get our resources from. So right now, you'll notice all 9 of the symbols are uncovered. It's 5 planes, 3 meat, and 1 supply. As we put dinosaurs in the range, they will be blocking those spaces, and therefore I'll get fewer resources, meaning it gets harder to feed your dinosaurs the longer you play the game. Which is, of course, intentional. That's how we try to do these things. That's all you can see here. We'll talk, once we talk about acquiring dinosaurs, I'm going to jump back to here. But for now, that's what you need to know. Now you'll notice that the scientist, the nefarious ne'er-do-well that we are competing against, has a completely different board. This is a solo board. And let me show you how to read it. Throughout the game, the solo rancher, the rival rancher is what he's called, is going to be placing dinosaurs on his map. Whenever he completes enough dinosaurs to fulfill the contract, he fulfills the contract. And I'll talk about contracts in a little bit. Each one of these pens holds exactly 1 animal, and if he ever gets full, he unlocks his special action, which is to claim 1 research card. He gains resources too, but he doesn't feed his dinosaurs, which seems kind of like cheating to me, but whatever. And whenever he maxes out on a resource, he gets a bonus. So, the scientist likes science, obviously, and you'll notice that there's 4 different ways that he can get science over the course of the game. He can even be a jerk and steal science from me. I have never once seen the AI max out a track more than once, but a lot will just depend on how the cards come out. It could happen in this game, and if it does, I'd be very sad. So that's what the player boards look like. There are multiple versions of these boards. There's 4 of each, and each one looks slightly different and offers different strategic possibilities. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So this is the round tracker. The game takes place over 6 rounds and has the single best round marker in history. We're gonna pretend this is a tea mug. I don't begrudge people that enjoy coffee their favorite beverage. I just don't like coffee. Unlike, say, the spiffing Brit, I don't think any less of you if you drink coffee. It's just not for me. I don't like the acid in coffee, which is weird because I drink pop all the time. But coffee, for whatever reason, for my body is like, nope. And I respect that. I listen to what my body tells me sometimes. The first phase of every turn is resource collection. If a space is unoccupied, we get that stuff. Let's do it right now. 1 supply. 1, 2, 3 meat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants. That was easy. Although there are 7 phases, it should be, like, I can't emphasize this enough. It is stupidly easy to play this game in terms of getting through the phases. The only phase that causes time to play is the Assign Ranchers phase, which is what we're talking about. Next up, you're supposed to be first player. I'm going to shuffle all the cards. I'm playing this based off of a save. I played this game last night, and it was already quite late when I started the recording, and I was basically like falling asleep during the game, so I decided I'd just start over again. So, this is a worker placement game, and over here you can see all of the lovely places you can place workers. Do note at the top left corner of each of these cards is a number of players. If you have more players, you get more spots. It makes sense. So, what are you looking at here? Every space can hold an unlimited number of workers, but there is a catch. If there is already a worker on a given space, it costs 2 workers to go there the second time. If there's already 2 workers, it costs 3 workers to go there a second time, etc., etc., etc. So you can effectively block spots. And learning how and when to block certain spots is an important part of this game, especially in the solo mode. So these 4 slots are all basically identical, giving you access to one of the basic dinosaurs. Stegos, Brachiosaurus, Raptors, Allosaurus. When you place a worker here, you roll the die. If you get a net, you get the dinosaur. If you get a wound, you, your rancher, and your dinosaur both go to the medical leave space, which doesn't have too much impact on gameplay, but does free up the space so someone else could go there for just 1 worker. Or lastly, you can get really lucky, get the egg, and get 2 dinosaurs. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in this game is ignore the possibility of getting 2 dinosaurs. It is not optional. You must take 2. 2 dinosaurs means dinosaurs breeding. If you're planning for it, it's a wonderful gift. But if you're not planning for it, it can be problematic. Or, you have this alternate space down here, the Dino Market. You go to Dino eBay, or D-Bay. I'll let that soak in for a minute. And pay a supply. And then take any dinosaur of your heart's desire, of these 4. Note the gray ring around the space. This indicates that there is a cost, and the cost is just off to the right of it. That's a dinosaur market. We'll be here a fair bit, because if you don't get dinosaurs, you can't do contracts. You don't do contracts, you can't win the game. I guess it's possible to try a strategy where you never get a dinosaur the entire game. I'm pretty sure you would lose, and lose very badly, though. As only research offers points without dinosaurs, so think about that. Let's shuffle that some more. Next, we have the contract space. This is a great time to talk about contracts. And we're going to come over to the public contract display. Very easily overlooked part of the solo game. I cannot stress this enough. You will make your life so much harder if you don't pay attention. Actually, let's reshuffle these and put out 3 new contracts. Just for fun. Just because I knew those contracts already, and I like... Okay. Cool story. Okay. So, in order to complete a contract, you must go to this space, and you must have the appropriate dinosaurs in your range. They cannot be in the medical leave section. They cannot be in your holding area. They must be in your range. So you go to the space, you claim a contract and discard the appropriate dinosaurs, and you'll score some points at the end of the game. However, if you are not a solo player, you can discard a private contract in addition if you have the dinosaurs. Building up to playing a private contract is an important skill in this game because it gives you lots of opportunities to get lots of points. However, it can also be really tricky. And one of the biggest challenges in this game is going to be managing your dinosaur population to the point where you don't have like 11 dinosaurs the whole game and you can't feed any of them. That's the balance you're trying to strike. So what is the solo rule that you can easily overlook? At the beginning of the manual, and we'll just jump over to the manual so you can see what I'm talking about here. We're going to look at the setup part here. And you'll notice this says, Public Contract Deck. It reads, deal cards from the deck into a face-up row to the mat's right, we're doing it underneath for table saves, equaling the number of players plus 1. So you'd be thinking, oh, solo means 1 plus 1 is 2. However, if you go to the back of the manual, you'll notice it says set up for a 2-player game. Therefore, you must have 3 contracts. If you only have 2 contracts out, you will lose every single game. Because the AI doesn't need to do anything special to fill a contract, they just need to have the right number of dinosaurs. So they can basically fulfill contracts at will, 1 per round. So you can basically find yourself with no contracts if you don't pay attention to the rules, like I did in one of my test games. Also, remember what I just said, 1 contract per round. You can't do like 7 per round. That's also a mistake I made. I promise you that I can read, but I don't always understand, I guess. So, those are contracts. These 2 spaces are functionally identical. You would go to this space if you're like, I don't want to pay an extra worker. I'd rather play a supply. Easy enough. Now we come down to barriers. The 2 easiest spots are these 2. You either get a barrier or 2 barriers for 1 supply. No problems, easy peasy. Barriers are placed on these spaces with the dots, and these create enclosures. If a space is completely surrounded by water, mountains, or barriers, it is considered an enclosure. Enclosure rules are quite simple. In order to put a dinosaur on your ranch, they must have an enclosure. Otherwise, they just immediately escape, and bad things happen. An enclosure can only hold 1 species of dinosaur, but it could hold multiple of that 1 dinosaur, assuming you have a large enough space. So, for instance, if I put a barrier here and here, this would be an enclosure for 3 dinosaurs of 1 species. Now, the unique dinosaurs in the game don't need a special space. You can put them anywhere you'd like, but you can't mix them with other dinosaurs. That is the most important rule. Unless the card specifically says you can mix it with other dinosaurs, like the pterodactyl, you cannot put multiple species of dinosaurs in one enclosure. So how you manage your 11 spots is the most important part of the game. You start out with a free enclosure, though, but it's also covering your supply spot. And supplies are pretty useful, so think about that carefully before you put a dinosaur there. So, it's important to note that unlike other farming games, like say Agricola, you do not put the fences out immediately. They go into your holding area. And then when you finish phase 2, then you decide where to put the dinosaurs and the fences. Next we have these 2 spaces. The bottoms of these is essentially identical. Remove as many barriers as you'd like from your mat, put them into the holding area, and then reassign the barriers. You're basically tearing them down and rebuilding them somewhere else. Easy. No problems there. The top one of this one gives you the first player marker. Because the Ravel rancher starts with the first player marker, it can be really helpful to try to grab that from him. But it does have ways to get the first player marker back, so. There's advantages to going last and advantages to going first, and I fully acknowledge this is a limitation of my particular gameplay, is I tend to forget about the first player marker, because this space isn't that great otherwise. But it could be under the right circumstances. Don't be surprised if I never end up as first player. It's just not worth it to me most of the time. Last but certainly not least, we have this space. We already know what the bottom does. This lets you put any dinosaur from your holding area onto your ranch immediately. This is an incredibly useful action because it lets you fill up, it lets you fulfill contracts with dinosaurs you just acquired before you need to feed them and before you need to put them on them and before you need to give them a fancy enclosure. Because you don't check enclosure rules until Phase 4. So, this is an incredibly valuable action, and is indeed marked with a supply to show how valuable that it is. Those are the barriers actions. At a certain point, you won't need barriers anymore. You only need a finite number of them, and when you choose to get them is going to drastically affect how you play your game. Next, we have research. You either pay 1 plant and 1 meat, or 1 dinosaur of your choice. Note, this can be a dinosaur from anywhere. The ranch, medical leave, or the holding area. You get to take one of these cards and do whatever is said on the card. There are 2 kinds of cards in this game. There are science cards, with a little flask in the top left, and genetic cards, with the things in the top left. The genetic cards are how you get unique dinosaurs. Unique dinosaurs are generally not worth as many points as basic dinosaurs, but they offer an important ability that can help you get an edge in the game. Which is pretty cool. In case you look at these cards, you're like, these all suck, you can choose to draw 3 new cards and take one of those instead. If we empty out the deck, we shuffle it and put it back in. Easy enough. Last but certainly not least, we have the resources area. Very simple, place a worker, get stuff. Either 2 plants, 1 plant, 2 meat, 1 meat, 2 supplies, 1 supply. Putting a worker here can often feel like you failed in your turn. And it's true that if you play the game with maximum efficiency, you won't be going here too terribly often. But there's just times you need stuff. And it's much better to waste a worker to get meat than to let a dinosaur escape. Although you could take this card and never have to worry about escaping, which is pretty cool. Those are the worker placement spots. And that's all in Phase 2. So the Rival Rancher and I will take turns designing our workers. His workers are these cards, which basically block every space on that given row, and then either give them a benefit or let them access the actions on their map. And we'll talk about that when we actually play with him. Third step, very simple. Everyone comes home, including dinosaurs and rangers and medical leave. Although the manual says to collect the ranger cards in step 7, I collect them in step 3. It's just easier for me to remember that because I'm looking at this mat already. I'll still forget to do it at least once, and I'll look very silly. But, you know, I think this just makes more sense. In my opinion. Next, we can arrange our ranch with all the dinosaurs and berries that we've acquired. Next, we feed them. And finally, for every 2 dinosaurs of the same type in 1 enclosure... Actually, there can be different enclosures. I misspoke. So you could have like 2 enclosures with 2 dinosaurs each, and they would each breed. You make a new dinosaur. Note the timing here. You don't feed newborn dinosaurs. It's a very easy mistake to make that can make your game significantly harder than it ought to be. And it's great. Unlike farming games like, say, Agricola, where if you have 200 sheep, you only get 1 extra sheep. In this particular game, if you have 200 velociraptors, you get 400 velociraptors. You're obviously never going to have that many velociraptors, but if you did, that's what you'd be looking at. Finally, step 7, do some cleanup, refill the contract area, put out new research cards, and move the round marker. I always forget to move the round marker. I don't know why. It's a personal failing, I know, but here we are. And that's it. We do all this 6 times. At the end of the game, we score contracts, research, and the individual basic dinosaurs on the range. And that's that. So, my friends, let us begin the game by setting up the Rival Ranger. I keep shuffling this deck, I don't know why. You're going to put out 4 cards. And they'll tell us what to do. Note, in round 4, I get an extra worker for a total of 5, but he gets the ability to play 5 cards instead of 4. So we flip the first card, we move it to the top of the appropriate row, and we do what it says. This counts as empty. I don't have any workers here, and he didn't have any workers here, so he does the top part, which is getting 2 Allosauruses. You must be, and I cannot stress this enough, hyper aware of the public contracts. Especially in a solo game. A multiplayer too, but it's critical in the supply. Oh, I have to discard one of my 2 cards, sorry. I'm gonna discard this one. It's draw 2, take 1, not that anyway. So, you'll notice Allosauruses are not on any of these 3 contracts. This means any unique dinosaur of your choice. So, that's his turn done. Now, you know what? We're going to reshuffle these together because it's more interesting to me to have a different strategy since I did play this game just yesterday. I want to have a different experience, so let's see who the actual knew. It was meant to be, guys. The Moss Chops came back again. So, I've got a few options here. And early on in the game, it is never a bad answer to go get barriers. It's never a bad time to go get barriers. However, this dinosaur is a barrier. Basically, he creates walls. He's a magic dinosaur. I love how adorable all the dinosaur graphics are. Even the Allosaurus is like... He just looks really cringy. He doesn't look ferocious. He looks like, man, someone just let out a giant fart or something. You have to imagine dinosaur farts are probably pretty gross. Especially the plant eaters, the herbivores. Anyway. This dinosaur is so freaking good. I don't think I can pass him up. This is a cool dinosaur too, though. As is the Gamelodon. These are all great dinosaurs. But Moschops is such a great early dinosaur because you can basically ignore barriers a bit longer than you would normally. So we're going to send a worker over to here. I don't have any dinosaurs, so I can't do that one. I'm going to send 1 plant and 1 meat. And we claim the Moschops for our very own. And he goes into my holding area. Done. That's a turn. I'm probably going to put him here. Because that automatically creates an enclosure for 2 more dinosaurs. And that gets me in a pretty good space to do an enclosure for other dinosaurs as well. So that's what we're looking at. And that's him done. Over to here. Ah, perfect timing. Not perfect timing. He comes over to C. Again, none of my workers are there, none of his are there, so he gets 1 Brachiosaur. Please note, you don't get the action in the space when you place a dinosaur. You only get it if you're told to access one of those. Brachiosauruses are quite important to us. If we got 2 of them, we couldn't feed them without getting some plants. But getting 2 of them would help us with our different contracts. I'd almost rather go for Stegos first, though, just because they're easier to deal with. They don't cost as much to feed. Note that my private country card is one of every type of dinosaur, so that's something important. So, I'm not going to buy fences this first round, I don't think. Now, this counts as one worker in every space, and I want to do this action next. So I have to place either my lead rancher or two of my regular workers. We're going to put my lead rancher there. And we're going to try to get ourselves some stegos. I am really hoping that we can get lucky and get 2 stegos by rolling the egg. That's not a guarantee, of course, but I'm hoping that's what we accomplish here. We failed. We still get a stego, which is great. You always get the dinosaur, even if you got the wound. But sadly, I did not get 2 of them. Which is whatever. Okay, so there's already a worker both from me and from him here, so he doesn't get a stego. He instead does the stego action, which for him is gain 3 plants. Because it's the first open space. You always go bottom to top, and when spending dinosaurs, you spend from top to bottom. Easy enough. So, what do I do with my remaining 2 actions? And that is the important question, and I don't have an answer to it right now. I'm thinking we might hoard some supplies, assuming he doesn't go here, because I can't fulfill a contract. I don't want to go there, and it would cost me 2 workers to go to any other space. No, I could go try to get a raptor. I mean, I might get 2 raptors, which would be interesting to say the least, because I do need raptors. And I could be trying to build to fulfill this contract. I'm not going to go up the unique dinosaur I have now, though. And so that actually raises a different question. Do we get the Parasaurolophus? Parasaurolophus. I'm just going to call you a para. Because he automatically, he doesn't stop us if he blocks a resource. He's actually even more efficient at getting resources. And getting unique dinosaurs early on in the game is really helpful. Is it worth spending another plant and another meat? No, it isn't. Because unless I sacrifice the stego. I really don't want to do that, though. But I want him. So here's my problem. I have plenty of food to feed my dinosaurs right now. If I come to this space, I cannot feed my dinosaurs, and one's going to escape. That's obviously not a great idea. So I think we sacrifice the Stegosaurus we just got so that I can come over here with both workers and take another science card. Sorry, Stego. Because I want the para, because holy shit, that's an awesome card. Now, where do I want to put him? Double supplies is nice. Okay, so he's gonna go there. Where do I put him? I'm gonna put him. I'm planning to put him here for not to get double supplies, but I may change my mind about that when we actually get to the research phase. I have no workers left, so I'll just pass for the rest of this round, and he comes over to D. And gets not 1 but 2 Brachiosauruses. Now, I haven't been doing this because I've remembered the contracts, but it's important to remember after every single turn the Rabble Ranger takes, you check see if he fulfills any contracts. He doesn't. He doesn't have any Stegos, he doesn't have any unique dinosaurs, and doesn't have any raptors. So that means he can't do any contracts, and the first round is concluded. We're then going to bring all the workers home. I've missed you all terribly. Nobody even got mauled this turn or eaten, which is a great success. Great success. Rival Rangers come home too. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And phase 3 is now complete. Phase 4. I'm going to place the Moz Chops first. I'm going to put him right here. Stand him up. And remember, he acts as a barrier. This now gives me 2 enclosures here. I don't have to put him in an enclosure. Since he has so many plants, I think I'm actually going to put him here. Instead of putting him here. Just because supplies are great, but if you get too many supplies, you can't really do much with them. Whereas food is always good, so that's why I placed him there. So no, he's on an enclosure. That's cool. Unique dinosaurs just kind of vibe. They don't need a fancy place to set. So my friends, we've completed phase 4. Now we feed the dinos. He wants 2 plants. He wants 1 plant. 1, 2, 3. Don't need to spend any meat because we don't have any carnivores yet. And that concludes the feeding dinosaurs phase. Unique dinosaurs can't breed. That's why they're unique. We refresh for the next round. So, if we had any contracts spent, we'd refill. We didn't. We discard the poor Gamelodon. And we put out 3 brand new cards. The Mosasaurus is so freaking great. So freaking great. We moved the round marker. I remembered this time. And then we started a new round. Let's quickly go over the dinosaurs that just came out. So the Triceratops, who eats a lot of plants but is worth 4 points. And for every dinosaur adjacent to the Triceratops at the end of the game, you get an additional point. I personally, although I like the dinosaur, I like all dinosaurs. I don't like the feature. It's basically at most 4 points, so he's basically worth 8 points. Which is nice, but he's also really hard to feed. He wants a lot of plants, does our trike friend. The mobile barriers, you can rearrange your barriers anytime you like. But I love this guy. So the Mosasaurus, first of all, takes up a water space. Great. And whenever you go to a contract space, I can fulfill the top face-down public contract card instantly by discarding him and an Allosaurus. Which means I could then play a private contract and not have to worry about giving up as many dinosaurs. This guy is awesome. He is very expensive to feed, but as long as he's one of our only carnivores, it shouldn't be the end of the world. So, we're now on phase 1, and let's get our resources. So we get 1 supply. Just gonna move those there. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants, because remember, that's our paradude. And 3 meat. We were at 1, so we go up to 4. Done. That is my supply, that's my income, and then we go ahead and assign our rangers. So, 1, 2... No, did I shuffle the deck? I've already shuffled the deck again. 1, 2, 3, 4. He goes to A first again. You are an a-hole, game. So, this is what I was afraid of. He can't place the second Allosaurus, right? That means he gets the action on the top. He gets to take a science card. This happens every time I see the Mosasaurus. It makes me really sad. Because he always takes the highest point value dinosaur. Or the highest point value card, which is this gentleman. Game! Why do you hate me? That was going to be my first action, and now I have to recalculate my strategy. Okay. So who else came out, though? Dinokairos. This is really good in the solo game, because there will be times where you have a worker you can't place anywhere legally. You could put him there instead and get resources. That's pretty great. The Dimetrodon, I get a free resource for him too. Or I can start trying to get closer to filling a contract. Which means I need Stegos. So I'm going to take my lead rancher. I'm going to send him over here. I'm going to try to get 2 Stegos. Need you do me a solid, game. Give me the Stegos. Thank you. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay. He comes over to B, and he's going to get a couple of Stegos. So thankfully, because he doesn't... Oops, I put the Stegos in the raptor pens. That's a mistake. The moment he gets a raptor, he's going to be able to fulfill the contract. So we have to keep that in mind. Okay, so I got 2 Stegos. I'm going to need a raptor eventually. Or I could... No, this is the time to go get barriers. So I'm going to go right over there. I'm going to spend one of my 2 supplies, and I'm going to take 2 barriers. Because I'm going to need a decently sized pen to hold Stegos, which is fine. Do note, because let's keep this in mind, it takes 5 plants to feed all my dinosaurs, and 5 plants is exactly what we have for now. We're definitely going to want to probably claim some plants if we get an extra worker. We'll see what happens. He comes out to A. He can't do the top part, so does the bottom part instead. He gets 2 plants and a science card. 1, 2, 3. Always takes the highest point value. That's going to be the Triceratops. And this is somewhat embarrassing, but he's going to get to complete a contract now. He has 2 unique dinosaurs, and he has 1 Stego. That lets him complete this contract. Gonna put that there. Discard the dinos and their science cards. You always do both. The dinosaurs are released back into the wild. I don't think it's a great idea to do that, but I'm not a dinosaur. Sadly, although that was my fondest wish as a child, was to be a dinosaur when I grew up. That hasn't happened yet, but I have some optimism. And that's him fulfilling his only contract this round. It'd be great if I could do a contract this round, but I'm not going to be able to. So. Here's my question to myself. Do I go get raptors? Or do I get some extra resources? I think I go get raptors. With an eye to filling this contract next turn, perhaps? Or, no, let's look at these first. Okay, 2 free resources is pretty great. I can use this to place... Oh, that's quite nice. Dinokairos is nice. Dimetrodon is pretty solid. I could put him there. No, because I'm going to put my barriers here and here. Or, sorry. I'm going to put 1 barrier there. Where do I put the second barrier? Probably start working over here. Any space for the 2 Stegos. I can't spend a plant, though. That's my problem. And I don't want to spend a dinosaur again. I'm already kind of behind on that. So I think I'm going to go get some raptors. I'm at least going to try. I'd love to get 2, but I might only get 1. And if I only get 1, I can live with that. That's whatever. I only got 1. That's fine. Okay. That is me done. He takes his last action. He comes over to B. Would get a raptor, but he can't because he's blocked. So instead he gets 1 of each resource. And that's the first meat and the first supply. Okay. That concludes round number 2. So, workers come home. I'd really like for them to not play A the first freaking time every time. Unfortunately, the game just hates me. Which is fair. Which is fair. We are rival ranchers, after all. I like to think of it in my headcanon as he used to work for us, and I probably, like, told him to clean up the Brachiosaurus shit. And he's like, you know what? I'm noping the fuck out of here. And sorry, I'm gonna start my own ranch with blackjack and hookers. And if your question is, are they human hookers or dinosaur hookers? I'll let you decide what's funnier. Probably dinosaur hookers. But here we are. So the dinos have come home. Now we get to arrange our ranch. And I'm going to put the barriers out first. So I'm definitely putting 1 barrier here. So right now I have 1, 2. I have 2 enclosures here. I have 1 enclosure here and 3 enclosures here. Where do I put my other barrier? I'm going to put a barrier here. With that is, if I get 2 more barriers, I can have 2, 1, 3, 4. Which is pretty great. Now the dinos come out. I'm going to put the stegos here. And the raptor here. Okay, ranch has been rearranged. Very nice. Very evil. And we're going to feed the dinosaurs now. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all my plants gone. And 1 meat. That raptor, he hungry. And that completes that phase. We get a new baby stego. It's the circle of life. And we have completed phase 6. We then go into phase 7. These slide over. Put a new public contract. And we junk all the science cards. All the science is gone forever. We put out 3 new ones. It's one of my favorite dinosaurs, the T-Rex. The T-Rex is low-key one of my favorite cards in the game. I mean, I also love dinosaurs in general. But what makes him so great is you can feed him with other dinosaurs. So he's really good for controlling your population. Which is really cool. We move the round marker, and we start a 3rd round. So, resource collection time. We only get 1, 2, 3, 4 plants. 1, 2 meat. And 1 supply. Done. Shuffle, 2, 3, 4. If he gets a raptor, he can complete this contract. But he's going to go to D first. Now, he is full on Brachiosaurus, so he just gets to do the special action first. Which means the fucker's taking my T-Rex. I'm not bitter. Just kidding, I'm extremely bitter. Ooh, but I could take the Plesiosaurus. Okay. I'm not as upset now. But I do believe this would let him... Nobody doesn't have any raptors yet. Every time I say I like a dinosaur, this jerk of a scientist steals them from me. Alas. So, I have kind of an interesting situation here. First things first, I could complete this contract right now. I wouldn't be able to do the private contract, but if I don't start taking contracts, I'm not going to be able to get as many points as I would like. However, there's also taking the Plesiosaurus, which will help me fulfill future contracts. Or the herbivore hemolog. I'm not going to have the most herbivores. I'm not stupid. Or the adrenal injectors, so I can basically use an actor a re-injure twice. This is genuinely a difficult decision for me. So he would take Diplodocus, so the Plesiosaurus is kind of safe. Okay. To do my private contract too, I would need to get an Allosaurus and a Brachiosaurus. I would not mind taking an Allosaurus right now. But here's the trap. I don't want to take two Allosauruses. That would basically wreck my entire economy of spaces. And I definitely want to get dinosaurs while the getting's good. Before he comes over here and blocks the space. So my friends, I think I'm going to go get an Allosaurus with a view to eventually fulfilling this private contract. Or do I just go ahead and fulfill the contract I've got now before he does it first? I don't love fulfilling private contracts without doing a public first, but the thing is, if he gets a raptor, he gets to fulfill that contract and I can't stop him. So I think I have to do the short-term move and go ahead and do a contract. It makes me sad. It's an unusual situation where you can basically get a dinosaur for free, but here we are. I'm going to take this contract right here. That's one Stego, one Raptor, one Unique. Goodbye, Para. You were an amazing friend to us, and I'll never forget you, but I need the contract done before he does it. And then you're just going to kind of vibe over here. Okay, I could fulfill the private contract. I don't have anywhere near enough dinosaurs, sadly. So that concludes my turn. Over to you. You come over to C. You get a Brachiosaurus. You're already full on Brachiosaurus, so you get a Science instead. 3 come out. The pterodactyl came out. That's another one of my favorite ones in this game. My actual favorite dinosaur hasn't come out yet, which is the Ankylosaurus. But I respect the hustle of the Diplodocus. Or Diplodocus. I've always liked Diplodocus better because it sounds cooler, but I guess it could also be Diplodocus. Especially since, well, I mean, it's Latin. They're all Latin names. But that just means the C is hard, so there would be Diplodosis. That's definitely wrong. I don't know. Diplodocus is fine because it makes them seem like they're slow, which they probably are, being, you know, giant fucking dinosaurs. But here we are. So if I don't get dinosaurs now, I will regret it. I will 100% regret it. I think I need more raptors. I wouldn't even object to 2 raptors if we could get them. But I do think we need raptors this turn. Just because both of the remaining contracts have raptors on them. They also have both brachiosauruses, but to be quite honest, those are a little bit scary to feed. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to try for 2 raptors. And I didn't get it. I still got 1 raptor, but I wanted 2. Oh well. Another card comes up. Here comes the A. Now, if I hadn't gotten wounded, this would block him, but it doesn't. Instead, he gets a stego. Not that that matters, because 2 stegos doesn't really do very much for him yet. Cool. I just want to make sure I'm doing something really stupid. Yeah, you don't do the action. Okay, that's what I thought. Great. So, I got 2 workers left. One of them is my head rancher. Where do we go next? I gotta say, getting 2 more fences to build this pen of 4 makes a lot of sense. It's not very sexy, but it does make a lot of sense. The other alternative would be to get a Brachiosaurus. The problem with that is, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to feed it. And if a stego leaves, it knocks over a fence. Which is not great. When they knock over a fence, do you just get it back the next turn, or is it removed? No, it's removed. They don't instantly escape, but they don't breed either, and that's not great. Or do we go do some science? And grab ourselves either the Plesiosaurus or the Pterodactyl. Let's go get us a Plesiosaurus, actually. So I'm going to come over here. No. I'm going to use the lead rancher. I'm going to come over here. Because we got too many stegos. No, if I do that, I won't be able to make more stegos. And I don't want to give up any other dinosaur that I've got. So, just kidding. We're going to come over here. We're going to spend 1 plant and 1 meat. Note this leaves me 1 short of plants. Don't worry. That's what I'm going to do with my last worker this turn. Is go get that. And we're going to take the Plesiosaurus. Very nice. Very, very nice. Over to the Rival Rancher. Takes his last action. He comes over to B. Please note, he doesn't get a raptor because I already have people here. Instead, he does the bottom part, which is the raptor action, which is 1 of each resource. I'm a little concerned right now, actually, at how he hasn't gotten any raptors, which has put me in a pretty crazy predicament. Oh, whoops. I don't put him out there immediately. He goes into my holding area. And I did get a raptor. Okay. That's fine. I still have enough meat. Oh, that's cool. I don't want escaping dinosaurs. As much as it pains me, because I'd love to go try to grab some other dinosaurs, I'm going to come over here instead and get 2 plants. 1, 2. And that's our turn done. So, workers come home. Friends, I don't mind telling you we've gotten unusually lucky with the AI, who just hasn't been able to do any contracts. Oh no, we don't do that part yet. Sorry. I get my workers back. including all the jerk weasels and medical leave, including my new raptor, my shiny new raptor. Then we rearrange the ranch. I'm gonna move the stegos so they have more room. I'm gonna put one there and one there. I'm gonna put the raptor here. And I'm gonna put the plesiosaurus there. And that is me done with that. Now we gotta feed all these buggers. So the raptor and the plesiosaurus both want meat. 1, 2. The rest of you want plants. Moss Chops gets 2. 1, 2. And the 2 stegos get 1 each. 1, 2. Done. Now we breed. That's another stego. Let's block the meat for now, because I want to make sure we have enough plants. And then we refresh, so these all go away. Goodbye, pterodactyl. It's the Ankylosaurus. It's my favorite dinosaur, you guys. It's my favorite. Like, as a card, it's not very good. It's really great in a multiplayer game. But I don't have the first player marker, so it doesn't really help me. I love the Gallimimus too, though. It's a really useful dinosaur. I can get the breedings. Oh, that's a good science round. That's a very good science round. We refill the contracts. Man, is Brachiosaurus City up in this bitch? He's gonna get to fulfill the contract immediately, though. Whatever. I'm surprised it took this long. I get my bonus worker now, but he also gets to do 5 actions a turn now. But we begin round 4. So let's collect our resources. That's gonna be 3 plants. 1, 2, 3. And it's gonna be 1 meat and 1 supply. Done. Next, we shuffle these, and we're gonna put out 5 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Our ranch is really filling up, and we don't have an easy way to get rid of the dinosaurs we do have. I'm a little concerned about that. Because we need Brachiosauruses. That's our biggest issue. We can't complete any contracts without Brachiosauruses. So we'll see what happens here. But everything else will depend on this first card. He comes over here first. He fills up on Brachiosauruses. They're already full. Game, you've committed many crimes against me, but taking my favorite dinosaur is beyond the pale. No, you took both of my favorite dinosaurs, my favorite herbivore and my favorite carnivore. What the fuck, game? I don't care if I win this game. I am very unhappy with you. Alright. I need Brachiosauruses. There is no getting around that. So let's get that going. Come on, Brachiosaurus chum. Give me 2 of them, you miscreant. Oh my gosh. Okay. I know exactly where I'm going to take my next 2 actions if I can get away with it. I know exactly where I'm going. But we'll see what happens here. Oh, do you know what? I made a mistake. I should have had him complete this contract. Sorry. Because he can legally do that one. That's 2 Brachios and a Stego. Two Brachios. Done. Okay, now he takes his proper turn. He comes over here and gets a Stego. Okay. So here is my nefarious plan. I want to go to this space twice, so that I can place them directly onto my ranch, and then I can fulfill the contract before I have to actually feed them. That is my plan. We'll see if it works. Or I just try to get another raptor to fulfill this contract. I mean, this contract is worth the same. Let's see what happens later, but for now, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to spend a supply. Do I want to rearrange my... Oh my god, I made a stupid mistake. I never got the... they were here. I'm sorry. I never would have done that had I thought that through. So I should have one less meat. And one less plant. But then I would gain 2 plants and a meat. 1, 2, 1. I'm so sorry, guys. I completely missed that I had never got the barriers to put in that last wall there. So that's on me. I apologize. Supply is spent. Brachiosaurus goes right out into the world. And you may be like, wait, do I have to place a dinosaur into an enclosure? I don't think I do. Yep. Okay, that's my turn. Don't go to B, don't go to B, don't go to B. Fuck! I guess it doesn't matter. I would have had to spend 2 anyway. Oh, but he does get to do the Stego action, which is taking another science card. 1, 2, 3. And he's gonna grab Dilophosaurus. He is getting so many dinosaurs that I am getting grumpy about it. Where's the Dilophosaurus? Oh, you spelled it wrong. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay. Cool. I honestly, I briefly thought about, like, starting over again, but to be quite honest with you, I don't feel like messing with it. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here. No, I need 3 workers to go there now. Oh, shit. My entire strategy is upended. How many plants do I need? I need 7 plants right now. I guess I'm coming over here then. No, I've got a better idea. I get the Gallimimus, and then I can use him to feed the Brachiosaurus. Yeah, we'll do that. My Brachiosaurus are gonna breed. Ugh. I gotta go get fences. I don't have another choice. Or I'm not gonna have room for all my dinosaurs. So spend another supply and get 2 barriers. 1, 2. Done. Flip, he comes over to A. He does an Allosaurus action. He can't because it's full. He takes yet another science card. The highest value card left is a 2, which is... Oh my god, game. I'm gonna stab you in the throat for constantly taking every card I desperately need. I'm just gonna stack these on top of each other. It doesn't actually matter. Gallimimus was how I was going to avoid having to feed all my damn dinosaurs. And yet, you screwed me out of that one too. What a jerk, game. What an absolute unrepentant jerk. Okay. So, it's going to cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't get 9 plants. There is no way for me to get 9 plants, no matter what. So I'm going to come over here just so I can spend a dinosaur to get, to spend a stego. So I can take a research card. A question is which one I want now. A breeding center would be quite lovely, but I don't have any supplies right now. I will at the end of next turn, though. And that can be a way to get a brand new dinosaur. Taking the breeding center makes a fair bit of sense, because I can basically use it to print a dinosaur if I only have one. So I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to take the breeding center. That's me done. He comes over to C. He gets 2 raptors. Do note, he can't complete a contract now. He already completed one this round, but he is going to complete one next round, which is going to be this one, which is whatever. That concludes his turn. I have my lead rancher left. How many plants do I need now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, 7, 8. How do I still not have enough plants? Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right. Wait, if I took the security force instead? Yeah, you know what? I hate this. I wanted the breeding center, but I have to take the security force. It's the only way to stop my dinosaurs from escaping. Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I still need to use my last worker to go get plants, though. That's the unfortunate part. It be like that sometimes. Okay. Phase 2 is done. Phase 3, everybody comes home. Wait a minute, the Plesiosaurus's power. Okay. That might actually get used next turn. We're gonna see what comes out. And then my workers come home. Because if I can get another raptor, I might be... Could I do the private contract? I don't know. Oh, I didn't draw a second private contract. You always do that on round 4. Okay, the one's raptors, a brachiosaurus, and a unique. That might be possible. We'll see, though. We will definitely see. Okay. Ranchers are back. Now I arrange. We're going to go 1, 2. Place the brachiosaur here. Now they all get to eat. Carnivores, easy peasy. That's 2 meat. Done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm 1 short. I'm going to choose not to feed a Stegosaurus. Which means I won't get to make any more Stegosauruses. Oh, which one? It doesn't matter, because I have my security force now, so he can't leave. We just grab him before he can leave. So there we go. Now we breed. That's another Brachiosaurus. I'm going to put you here. And another Stego. Guys, we need to do a contract. Desperately. Breeding is done. Refresh for the next round. So all of these go away. We only have one left. It's the Iguanodon. Put out a new public contract. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. What would I have to do to complete a public contract 2? We'll have to see. I'd really like to do both of them if I can manage it, and I think I can with a little bit of luck, but we'll have to see what happens. I basically need one raptor. If I get one raptor, then I can do everything. A raptor out in the range, by the way. So that's going to be my goal for this turn. Let me get my resources. 1 supply and 2 plants. We are drastically overfed. I gotta start discarding dinosaurs or we're gonna be in real trouble. For sure. And then we move up the round marker. Okay. He gets his turn first, and he goes right to C. And he gets a Brachiosaurus. That is fucking bullshit. Because he always holds contracts from left to right. Which means he's gonna take this one, which is the one I wanted to take. You are an absolute asshole, scientist. I would like to murder you, please. I'm just going to double check to make sure that is the correct rule. But I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, it always goes left to right. I hate you so much, game. I need to get rid of my damn Brachiosauruses, and this was my way to do that, and you steal it first because of the damn card you drew. I would like to murder the rival rancher. Just straight up feed him to a raptor. Whoopsie. You're not a Brachiosaurus. Okay. I'm in big time crisis mode now. I need to get rid of dinosaurs as fast as I possibly can. Specifically Brachiosauruses. The problem is, because of the remaining public contracts, no matter what happens, I need 3 raptors. Or do I? Okay, let me think about this for a second here. Okay. The plesiosaurus could count as any dinosaur. I would still be a raptor short. There is no way that this round ends without me being a raptor short. Because they both have to be out. Oh my gosh. They're just gonna keep breeding. Oh my god. I'm so furious that the AI managed to draw exactly that freaking card. Literally any other card out of that deck and I would have been fine. I don't have a way to get rid of Brachiosauruses fast enough. Like, I can come here and just start spending dinosaurs just to get rid of the Brachiosauruses so that I have a chance. But the thing is, I'm not going to be able to feed dinosaurs unless I can turn them into points. Oh my gosh. I need 2 raptors, and I need 2 raptors in the actual range. That's my path to solving this logjam. Sort of. Because then I could do this one, and I could have the Plesiosaur Plunder be an Allosaurus. So I need 2 raptors, and I need both of them to be out here. So I guess I'm going to... No, not the head ranger. The head lead ranger. I'm going to use you. I need the egg. Give me the egg. That's not awful. Or I could try to get an Allosaurus out, but the thing is, this is the only space where I can do that, and I only have 1 supply. So, do I actually want to do that then? Okay. I don't think I want a raptor. Let me think this one through for a second here. I'm going to put you back in the supply. I'm going to walk this back for a minute. Okay. If I do this card, it would be Raptor, Stego, and 1 unique dinosaur. Let's say it's the Mozchops for a second. Then I need another Stego, another Diplodocus, another raptor, and another Allosaurus. So yes, if I get the raptor out there, then actually that is what I wanted to do. Okay. I have a plan now. It's very, very dodgy. I have to get really lucky with where the AI chooses to go next. A is fine. He's going to do the Stego action. He's going to take a science card. Go for it. Right now, I need a very specific sequence of events to have any snowball's chance in hell of not having half my dinosaurs escape. You're going to take the Spinosaurus. Okay. So next step. I'm going to take this rancher, not you. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to spend a supply. And I am going to recollect all of my barriers, because I'm going to have to rearrange these depending on how many dinosaurs I have left at the end of this. I'm going to put my raptor out on the board. Quit mating with the fence. There you go. New card. D. He gets an Allosaurus, they're full, and so the Allosaurus triggers another science round. And he goes for the Triceratops. So he had him, then lost him, then got him back. Here he goes. You have so many unique dinosaurs, it's frankly a little bit unsettling. But anyway, okay. I then go over there to fulfill the contract. And I think I have enough dinosaurs to do what I want to. So, I take this contract. That cost me 1 raptor, check. 1 stego, check. 1 unique dinosaur, check. This is why I collected my barriers, because I'm going to reposition them. Then I play the private contract. 1 raptor, check. 1 stego, check. 1 brachiosaurus, check. And 1 plesiosaurus pretending to be an allosaurus, check. I then lose both of these cards. But I get a shit ton of points. And I alleviate the feeding problem, where I no longer have to worry about all my dinosaurs escaping. Okay. Remember, you do not check escaping until round 4, or phase 4, so that's why I can do this. And then you guys just go hang out, and then you get discarded. Cool. Back to you. You come over to D. D's already full, so you do the Brachiosaurus action, which is gain 3 meat. 1, 2, 3. Please note the AI will never complete more than one contract in a round, so that's fine. Do I go try to get 2 more raptors? I'd have to roll an egg, though, is the issue. No, I think I go get food. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get food. And then just not let my stego escape. Hold him hostage, if you will. That's 2 plants. 1, 2. I'm gonna actually discard the stego if I can get the correct... No, actually that makes more sense. No, because I still need to do it no matter what. It's fine. Then you take a turn, and you're gonna go to B. That's gonna earn you 2 more stegos. You've only got space for 1, so that's even more science for you. I like how I just have to just stick crap anywhere because I'm running out of room. There's a bunch of cards with 2, so you're gonna take the Iguanodon. Guys, we might be boned. I have never won a solo game of Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, just leaving that out there. I cannot place that ranger anywhere legally, so I just lose him. I don't get to do anything with him this turn. Okay, so. Workers come home. I really regret not going for the first player marker. It's just... Yeah, if I'd played a little better, I could have grabbed the first player marker from him. It's just never seemed worth it to me, to be quite honest with you. So that's where we are. Workers come home. And then we're gonna do arranging the ranch. So without the Moz chops, I need... Yeah, I have 4, so I could easily do... 1... 2, 3. Nope, that wouldn't work. New plan. If I go here and here, that's enough to create 1 enclosure. These 5 spaces here. And then I think I go 3, 4 for a place for 2. Okay. So I'm gonna put you in here for right now. And I'm gonna put you here and you here. So all my dinosaurs are now penned up. The stego won't be there forever. He's just there for right now. I then feed everyone. I've only got 4 food. The stego would love to escape, but he can't because my security force catches him when he tries to leave. We then breed a new Brachiosaurus. I'm just going to put you right there for now. And then we clean everything up. So all the science cards get discarded. Three new ones come out. Wait, what? I better reshuffle these. Yeah, and then 2, and then 3. 2 new public contracts come out. We'll move the round marker. Okay. 5 more cards come out. So he's closest to completing 2 contracts. If he gets another raptor, he can basically complete this one, which is fine. 2, 3, 4, 5. Phase 1, I get 4 plants, 3 meat, and that's that. Flip, and you start over here. That's 2 Brachiosauruses, which is not enough for you to complete a contract, alas. Alack. Okay. So, in order to do more contracts, I basically need as many raptors as I can get my hands on. And I need more food. Because I need enough food to feed all of my Brachiosauruses. So I think it's raptor time. I don't think we're necessarily going to be able to fulfill any contracts with these guys. Unless I just get stupidly lucky and can fulfill 1 more contract. Which I would easily do, but the first step in that is I need to get 2 raptors. Because all these require 2 raptors. I got 1 raptor. That's fine. You come over to B. And that would get you 2 stegos, but it doesn't because stegos are full. 2, 3. You get the Gamelodon. Yeah, we're totally boned. I don't think we can win this game. I just hope it's close, and it probably won't be. Like, we managed to keep pace with them on contracts, which is always something I've struggled with in this game, but the fact they never have to feed their dinosaurs means... Yeah. Kind of hoping you get raptors, but no such luck. Okay. Do I need a barrier? No. I can just rearrange the dinosaurs and it'll be fine. The only time I would need a barrier is if I got a second raptor that could then breed. Which I plan to do right now. I don't have any supplies though. So I'd have to come over there, use a head rancher, then I don't get enough plants. Gross. I guess we'll just do what we gotta do. So I'm gonna come over here and try to get another Velociraptor. Watch me get 3 now. No, I didn't. Well, at least they go back here, so I could theoretically go back and get another raptor if I needed to. Okay, so I'm not completing another contract. That's fine. I've just got to basically do my best to make sure that I get points in other ways. So you flip over a card. You're gonna come over here. You do an Allosaurus action. Your Allosaurus thing is still freaking full, so you still get yet another science card. Oh my god. I wish you didn't get to always draw the 3 cards first. That kind of wrecks stuff. Because basically it means they can just print unique dinosaurs. Here we go. Alright. So, I need to get those 2 plants. That'll let me feed all the Brachiosauruses, and the Stegosauruses can just go to hell, I guess. I can just use my superpower for that one. 2 plantaroos. 1, 2. Flip, he goes to B. He would get a raptor, but he doesn't. Instead, he gets 3 supplies. 1, 2, 3. That's them. I think I've got to grab a... I've got to grab a research thing, but I really like a unique dinosaur if I can manage it. So I am going to go ahead and come over here. I'm going to spend my Stegosaurus. And I'm going to do the draw from 3 from the top and take 1 of them. You know what, Dinosaurs, you're in. And I'll have to figure out where to put him, too. And you get the last action. You come over here, and you get a Brachiosaurus. And you're done. We got beat really badly here. I mean, we'll obviously wait to see how the math works out, but I'm not... I don't like our chances, quite frankly. Okie dokie. So, I'm just going to leave the workers where they are. It's the last round of the game. I don't need to mess with them. I do need 2 of my workers for my scoring. So I'm just going to grab 2 at random. But that's all I need. Now we do phase 4, rearrange the ranch. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. I guess you're going to go there, and then you're going to go there, and you're going to go there. Feed. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. So that's all my meat and all my plants. Easy enough. Because Dinosaurs is an omnivore. And then last but certainly not least, we breed. That's another Brachiosaurus and another Velociraptor. Cool. Breeding phase is done. It is now time, my dear friends, to do final scoring. I'm going to score me first, because I think we've lost by quite a bit, but I'm trying to remain somewhat hopeful. I don't love my chances, but anything's possible. So, first we add up our contract value. It's going to be 17, 28, 39. So that's 30 and 9. Then I add up my research. That's 3. So that takes me up to 10, 42. And then we add up our dinosaurs. So Brachiosauruses are 3 apiece. That's 12. You're 3 apiece. That's 9. 12 and 9 is 21. Went up with 63 points at the end of the day. That ain't gonna cut it. Now we do blue. So, step 1, we always add up their contracts. They got 12, 23, 44. Then we do research. 3, 6, 8, 12, 15, 17, 20, 23, 25, 28. 28 and 44 is 62. No, it's 72. Derp. Yeah, 20 and 44 is 72. And then they get points for all their dinosaurs. And that's going to be 6, 12. That's 18. And 9 is 27. They finish with 100 points exactly. Nope, 99. Sorry. What losers? They only end up with 99 points. Yeah. We got wrecked. We got wrecked hard. This is still one of the better results I've ever managed, though, and that's what's really sad. There were a couple of times where the scientists just outright fucked us by grabbing cards right before we would have. And so this is where you say, Avi, why did you never try to get first player? Because I suck. It is just so easy to forget about the value of first player in a two-player game. If I would have gotten first player, I could have grabbed contracts before he did. I would have had the flexibility to go where I wanted to instead of having to react all the time. But first player is obviously a huge bonus. But I really think it needs something else here to make it actually palatable for players in a two-player game. If I were redesigning this game, I think I'd actually give you a barrier instead of just letting you rearrange the barriers. Because that can be useful, but if you're going to rearrange barriers, you're going to come here anyway. In my opinion. So. That is a pretty resounding defeat. So let's talk about the game as a whole. First things first. I love Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs, so the theme hits right in that sweet spot. I love farming games. And this plays really smoothly, especially as a multiplayer game. However, I do not love the solo version of this game. There's a couple of reasons I don't love it. The biggest reason is that the AI never has to feed dinosaurs. Which is just, yeah, they get to make as many dinosaurs as they want to, and if they fill up, they get cool bonuses. The fact they never have to feed their dinosaurs really hurts. It really hurts, because they never lose dinosaurs unless they play contracts. So they're either getting a bunch of points, or they get a bunch of points at the end of the game. Which is just, yeah. The other thing I really dislike about the solo game is that it blocks all the worker placement spots on a card. And that's just silly. It basically makes it so that the solo player almost always is going to end up with situations where you're going to be short a worker and you just can't do anything with them. And that really sucks. Because you don't have that problem in the multiplayer game, right? It's literally just, where do I put my workers? And I don't think the scientist is especially unfair. I mean, I do think the fact that he always gets the highest point one after drawing 3 more cards is, yeah. That really sucks, because it basically means you can't get high value dinosaurs with the scientist as your opponent. It is what it is. And by being blocked out on contracts, I mean, this one right here probably cost me the game for sure. I had to scramble and find new ways to feed my dinosaurs because I just wasn't getting enough resources. And he kept coming to D. That was the other issue. He kept coming back to D. Like, every single time, he got at least 1 D card out there. Which meant I never got an opportunity to go there with only 1 worker. Yeah, I was on the Board Game Geek forums quite a lot yesterday, answering some questions about mistakes I'd made, and it just seems ridiculous. It just seems like, unless you play the game absolutely flawlessly, that you have no chance whatsoever to beat the AI. Um, which is a real shame. It's a real shame. And I think rebalancing the difficulty wouldn't be that hard. Um, unless I'm doing something drastically wrong. Because you don't wipe the dinosaurs when they do the special action. And that's the really bad part. That's the really bad part. So basically, every time you get a Brachiosaurus and Allosaurus, you just get to start taking science cards. And that's just a runaway engine you can never catch up with as a player. You'll never have the workers to grab, say, 4 science cards in a turn. But the AI can do it without any problem. I think the developer overvalued simplicity of play and undervalued balance. I'd rather have to think a bit more about what the AI has to do and have a chance to actually win the game. In a real sense. There are 4 different bots, and they all play differently, but the scientist is probably the second easiest, and that's saying something. Now, if I'd been more aggressive and grabbed the first player token a lot earlier on in the game, or even tried to do it at all, would that have made much of a difference? It might have, but remember, they had 2 ways to get the first player marker back. And here's what's really scary. We got lucky. We got lucky because there were never any Allosaurus contracts till the end of the game. Which meant he never got to cash them in for points. And we only let him collect 3 contracts, as a maximum of 6. I really wish we had gotten that contract, though. That one would have changed a lot of things. I could have pivoted and done some other stuff. But ultimately, the reason why the AI is unfair is they can basically have ridiculous quantities of dinosaurs. That's the biggest issue. Like, yes, there is a scenario in which in a multiplayer game, you could get 9 dinosaurs on one turn. That's never going to happen. You'd have to get the egg 4 times in a row, and still have a supply left, and you wouldn't be able to feed all of them. But the AI can regularly get 6 to 7 dinosaurs a turn, and that's just not sustainable. So one of the things I would do, I would get rid of the double dinosaur cards. Those are just too unfair. They can get them a lot more frequently than you can. And because they don't have to feed them, there's no downside in, say, getting like 3 Brachiosauruses. You saw toward the end of the game how hard it was for me to keep them all fed. And if not for the security force, we would have been in a lot more danger. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if... I scoured the forums to look and see if anyone had come up with house rules, and people are like, oh yeah, I beat the AI all the time. Maybe I just suck at the game. I truly may just suck at the game. And if that's the case, that's the case. I don't mind that. But I really do think that it's unfairly hard to win the solo game. I like to feel it's at least close, and I just got completely destroyed by things that were totally out of my control, and that's what I find to be unfun. Which is namely his just ability to print dinosaurs at a ridiculous rate. And then, because his columns were always full, he got to print research at a ridiculous rate. He never maxed out on a resource. I've noticed this happens a lot. That it's pretty rare that you end up with maxing out a resource. It happened once when I played the Breeder. So let's quickly look at the other bots. And I think you'll understand why I think the Scientist is one of the easier bots. Because the others are kind of broken. So here are the other game mats. Let's look at each one in turn. So if I hadn't played Orange, we could have had the Poacher. The Poacher outright steals your shit. That is just ridiculous, in my opinion. This is legitimately hard. It's not even the hardest sheet, but the ability to steal someone else's crap is just... it's broken. It's really broken. But wait, it gets worse. The Breeder is relatively okay. The Breeder is probably the easiest of them. Because a lot of its spaces just give it more resources. And it's harder for it to get science. But it also gets resources at a really high rate, which means it's more likely to trigger its max actions. But let's talk about the most bullshit AI in the entire game. And I cannot stress this enough. This should have been thrown into the dumpster the moment someone looked at it. Check out the fucking contractor. Special ability, take a contract. If you can't pay all the dinosaurs, don't worry about it. What the actual fuck? Why? Why on earth would you ever consider putting this in this game? Like, you get destroyed every time you play against this guy. And my score was not great. It's the best I've ever scored. I still got wrecked. You regularly see the AI score over 100 points with this, because it just basically takes all the contracts so that you can never get contracts. And let me be realistic. Great farming games have multiple paths to victory. If you don't complete contracts, you lose this game. That's... yeah. This is utterly broken. It's gross. It's just too easy for to just crap out contracts if they're going out of style. Yes, it means they have a smaller pen at the end of the game, but it doesn't matter because contracts are just more valuable. So, yeah. I love Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, but this solo mode is really hard. It's really ridiculously hard. Especially if we're dumb enough to play the contractor. I mean, it's too hard. I don't see how you could actually beat the contractor without basically cheating. In my opinion, you need to give the human player a bit of an advantage because of how hard the AI is. You need something to compensate for the fact that the AI is just really powerful. Because here's the thing, you don't get any bonus for playing the AIs. And the fact that they get the first player marker to start the game, which means you have to basically waste a worker to take it back if you ever want to go first, is just gross. It's really gross. I honestly think the only way to make this fair would be let the human player start with extra resources, or let the human player get like a free contract, or even break the rule where you don't have to play a public before you play a private. Maybe. I frankly don't even think that would solve it. I just think the solo mode is too hard. And if they ever do a second edition of Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, I hope they rebalance it. Because yeah, just getting free shit in infinite quantities is not how you have an enjoyable experience. Which is a tragedy. If you said, let's play Tiny Epic Dinosaurs with 2, 3, or 4 players, I'm there. I love worker placement games. I love smoothness. I love having to think about every decision. It's a brilliant worker placement game. It's just a trash tier solo game. It's a trash tier solo game. So, if you buy these games to play with your friends, then this would probably be number 3 of the Tiny Epic universe. Galaxies is my favorite. I really like Galaxies. And then I really like Tiny Epic Western because of the theme. Maybe actually Tiny Epic Dinosaurs would be number 2. Because I like dinosaurs more than I like the Old West. I mean, if you have dinosaurs in the Old West, that would be the greatest game of all time. But I don't know of any game that does that yet. Hear that, developers. That's a niche you can fill. But the solo mode is just so bad. It's so bad. Plus 10 points for ease of play. It runs really smoothly. Minus 100 for actual balance. And I actually thought about playing this game just 2-player to show you guys how it works. And maybe I'll do that another time. If you guys want to see what it looks like, then you can just let me know. You can post it in the comments. More importantly, I want to know your favorite dinosaur. And if you don't have a favorite dinosaur, then look it up because every human being should have a favorite dinosaur, in my opinion. Like, come on, the Ankylosaurus has a little club on its butt. That's amazing. Oh, I'm a Stegosaurus. I have big plates. Screw you, Stegosaurus. Triceratops, by the way, is a garden variety dinosaur. I won't judge you for picking it, but I'll probably look down on you a little bit. But it's fine. We're all friends here. Except for the scientist, who can go fuck himself. And that's it for Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. Next week, we're going to be playing... oh gosh, my brain just decided it wasn't going to answer my own question. What are we playing next week? Back in a sec. I want to say it's like... Battle for Souls. That's right. That's right. Next week's going to be a bit of a card game. The next week's episodes are going to be a bit more card related. But we're also going to get another dinosaur game. Jurassic Park Danger, which is coming, I think, next month. But that is Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. I hope you enjoyed the video. If I made egregious rules mistakes, I'm pretty sure I didn't. Just let me know. I fixed the ones that I did make. But until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching. And I bid you good day. Go extinct, you scientist jackass.